Okay, let's say a few general words about inflammations of the brain and meninges, and then we'll show some of the classic features of inflammations of the brain, otherwise known as encephalitis. As you can see from this view already, the substance here that we're looking at is brain, and at the periphery of it you see a loose membranous and vascularized area, which is meninges. Most primary inflammations of the brain are viral caused. Most primary inflammation of the meninges are bacterial caused. The definition of encephalitis theoretically is inflammation of the brain, so it's allowed to have an increase in number of inflammatory cells and glial cells as part of its general pattern of inflammation. However, the hallmark feature, and at least a common finding, is that in early or even in not early encephalitis, the primary focus of inflammatory cells seems to be distributed around the blood vessels. And here is a little couple of arrows in which you could see blood vessels, one here in the meninges, and one here in the brain, and another here in the brain. And if you zoom in a little bit better on these areas, you could see that they are blood vessels in which there is a peripheral cuffing of inflammatory cells, chiefly lymphocytes. Perivascular intracerebral blood vessel cuffing is the classic hallmark feature of an encephalitis, and specifically usually of a viral encephalitis, no matter what the virus is. Not to say that there aren't other patterns, but this is the most common one. And what I want to do now is go to another area in which this same pattern is even more pronounced. Here's another blood vessel, and here's a whole bunch of lymphocytes surrounding it. There is a potential, or at least theoretical, space surrounding the intracerebral blood vessels called the Virchow, as in Rudy Virchow, Robbins, as in Stanley Robbins, space. And the Virchow-Robbins space in encephalitis becomes engorged with lymphocytes. But you'll also note that in the areas of the brain which are not, in which you do not see too many prominent vessels, there may be an increase of glial and inflammatory lymphocytic cells there as well. Now let's look at the meninges and say another general thing. Well, here's a meningeal vessel, and you could see in the meningeal vessel there seems to be a little cuffing of lymphocytes as well. So let's just say that if a encephalitis also involves the meninges, or a meningitis also involves the brain, probably the preferred term for this would be a meningoencephalitis. But remember, generally in encephalitis the primary focus is in the brain, in meningitis the primary focus is in the meninges. And I think that's all that I want to say, so once again, thank you very much.